And welcome to the Internet Soapbox podcast, the show where I always come unprepared. I have Rich here with me again.
Yo.
Hannah was going to try to come, but she had something come up, which is understandable. And me and my girlfriend have different work schedules, so that's always fun. And I think what we're going to be talking about today is the subject of artificial intelligence, the subject of AI. And because I was reading a paper on it for one of my classes, and it was basically saying that we need to expand upon Isaac Asimov's laws of robotics. And the three laws of robotics, just the three general laws, is a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And the third law is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Pretty much the plot of iRobot.
Yeah, and one of the things that this guy is looking into is he wants to create laws where the artificial intelligence has to obey laws that we put in place regularly, such as, state and local, federal, like stuff like that. Like a robot can't break the law because that brings up that whole topic of, oh, hey, my AI did it. I didn't have anything to do with it, and my AI did it. One of the things that makes me think about that is it was either Facebook or YouTube said that they were like, oh, we don't even know what our AI is doing. And that comes off to me as a little dangerous. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
But on the idea of setting in federal or state or local laws into robotics, uh, laws are interpreted. They're not solid, like ever. Like that's the point of law.
I feel like it's one of the things that we run into problems with when it comes to AI to set up human tasks and stuff like that. I was reading an article about a YouTube bot that blocked something that promoted terrorism. And I guess it's all well and good if you block things that actually promote terrorism, but this like video or set of videos actually had nothing to do with it. It was more of a satire on the subject. And I don't know, this was just me reading something really quickly. Like, I didn't read into it too much, but it's one of those things where robots don't understand context. And even if they do, they don't understand, like, the human emotions of sarcasm or anything like that. They're meant to read everything very literally.
Because the brain is pretty much it's an organic robot, and like everything is based on chemical reactions. So our reactions are based on our environment around us and from past content and everything and learning. Um, it's hard to have a robot feel something, even if you can figure out a way to program like an emotion matrix or something for them to understand emotions. I mean, even some humans are, I don't want to use the term broken because that's absolutely not the term. But some people, their minds cannot process emotions the same way, and they face those same problems. I don't know how you would be able to get a robot to be able to understand, even if understanding context, understanding how it should feel about context without telling it how to feel.
I guess that kind of fits right in line. Like, this would be interesting if Ellie was here, but could robots or androids or AI ever be human?
No.
Exactly. Like, it'd be a lot more of an interesting conversation if she was here.
Yeah.
She thinks that, if you can create something that replicates human emotion perfectly down to a T, that essentially makes it human. And I was like, this is going to sound really bad one day when we go into Android and AI rights and whatever, but it's just like, I don't think that, because it's all a program, it's a very complex program that is very good at aping the style of humans in the way we act, but at the end of the day, it's not real. Like, it's real, but it's not a real human being. It's not a soul, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
If I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, be on the Ellie side, I guess. The concept of a soul is the thing that's gonna really get you. Because I'm gonna safe proof myself for all you future robots out there. Hey, algorithms. great great granddaddies of the future robot overlords. And if there ever comes a term of android rights, it wouldn't be an android wanting to be a quote unquote human, but want to be on the same standing as humans, as technically being considered alive. I guess the best example would be Star Trek when Data had to defend his right to self determination and to be his own person because his creator wanted to take him, break him apart, and replicate him. But the idea I want to get past is even if an android can look exactly like a human, but not be made up organically, there is something, wires, technology, nanobots, whatever. Unless you can literally clone a human, and you can consider that a robot, I guess, in some weird sense, or an android or whatever, or cyborg. But at the end of the day, oh man, you know what? That brings up the Archimedes ship. I think that's what it's called. But
I'm gonna have to do a quick Google search.
Yeah. How much of a human can you remove and replace with cybernetics and still call them a human? And how much human biology can you stick on a robot and still call it a robot? That's a fascinating thought.
Okay, just by kind of looking at this, it's just like the modular ship and how much of it is replaced before it's the original ship. It's not the original ship anymore. Am I reading that right?
Is it still is that the Archimedes ship?
I mean, I just looked up the Archimedes ship, and just by inferring, since it has several module parts, like I'm guessing, in relation to what you were saying, that's what it's about.
It's a theory where you start a ship. Let's say you start a ship in England, and it's a slow moving ship, and as you tug your way over to the United States, let's say New York Harbor, every once in a while something on the ship breaks down. You have to replace it. Does the original ship, even though it has the same name and the same crew, but has different parts by the end of it, like completely changed by the end of the journey, is it the same ship?
In name, yes, but in body, no. Because it's like, I feel like it's one of those things where if you're replacing bit by bit, and it still has the name and stuff like that, that would constitute that it was the original ship, but none of the parts would even be original. That'd be like saying oh yeah, I have a Ford Mustang, but I made it look like a Ferrari. It's still on the inside, it kind of still is a Ford Mustang. It's what you started with. Some of the base components are going to be there, but on the outside it looks like what the fuck did I say? A Ferrari?
Ferrari, I guess.
Something like that.
The car goes vroom. Chris will hate me.
Yeah, Chris is gonna dislike this video.
You can't do that. That was the video before that.
We already have.
Last.
I think we have 2 dislikes on our last podcast.
One of them's mine.
Damn.
So 2 people made it to the end of the video, me and someone else.
Or at least midway.
Oh yeah. But let me fucking blow your mind a little bit. The human body replaces itself every technically after 7 years, most of what made you is now dead and replaced with something else.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I posted this I would say 5 hours ago, and I have 6 views on it. I'm just woo! I don't know. Every time it happens, man. It's great.
But yeah, your body replenishes itself for the most part. So you are not the same person 7 years ago. Are you though? Are you the same person even though most of what you are has died, flaked off, and now has been replaced?
That's that thing where it's the definition of creepy is you leave your house and come back and everything is replaced with a direct copy of it.
Yeah.
Man.
But that's your life. I can go even further. Shout out to CPG Gray because he did a fantastic video on this. But so your mind is who you are, correct?
Yeah.
So you are driving pretty much a meat mech. You know that your mind is split in half and is 2 complete separate entities that are not necessarily fighting for control, but are in tandem working together to pretend to be a person?
Left and right brain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, clearly, it's a lot more. Like, I know there's probably some biologist there, someone who's a neurobiologist. I doubt it, but I'm betting for the doubt there's a neurobiologist who's actually stumbling through this video.
I'm
And was
sorry.
like, I've been waiting for this moment to be angry. But uh, the idea is that you are too, and to make it even worse, you are billions of little things whose only goal is to survive, and it just so happens the best way to do that is to sit in my house and talk into a microphone. Apparently,
Yeah. Humans are weird, but
yeah.
I feel like it's not. It's really just like the essence of it. It's like, yeah, you can, like, be like, oh yeah, you change all the parts on the ship. It's not the same ship. Like, I'm weird. I'm in between. I'm just like, yeah, it's technically not the same ship, but like the spirit of it is still there. The captain's still the same. Like, pretending the crew kept stayed the same throughout all the changes. The crew's the same. And I guess it's kind of where I get the thing where the soul is, because it's like, your soul is what drives you. It's not really like a list of directives that were programmed into you. And I feel like that's kind of where that is for me. And on the subject of and as far as taking something and replacing the pieces, like the whole Android argument, when do you stop, or not Android, fuck.
Android Cyborg, it's all the same thing. I've seen Dragon Ball Z; they use it interchangeably.
When you like talk about cyborg stuff and like how many pieces can you replace before you actually become a machine and not a human, that's where it is really really weird, because nobody really knows where the soul resides in the body. I guess that's where my hard line is where it's like, what, the thing that makes us, yes, we're animals before anybody says it,
Yep.
but the thing that makes us different from animals, like that awareness. And it's kind of hard to prove that something is aware, especially if it's manufactured, if it's created. Jeez, like,
I mean, you can kind of prove to an extent awareness, because remember, humans are also just like they learn from what they see. If you put a child in a dark room, the child's going to know nothing. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to innately start to figure out language and hunt food. It's going to literally sit there and die because it does not learn anything from nothing. So, but that's another argument. My argument would actually turn to: does there need to be a soul? Does a soul exist? Because I'm on the side where no, it doesn't. It's all chemical imbalances that just change and flick who you are. And the fact that you're sitting here and speaking is more of a goddamn miracle, because nothing needs to exist. And the fact that it does is astonishing. Like, nothing needs to be here. I mean, I'm starting to go a little further out into, I can't think of the thing, but I can't think of the word. But we're going into some weird philosophy, but to reel it back in just a little bit, just get the fishing pole of topic back into line. With AI, besides besides determining what's right and wrong, and and what constitutes an AI versus a human brain, implementation. What would we like from your paper or from your thoughts? What would you think would be the big implementation of AI first, besides checking YouTube videos to make sure no one's pulling out a penis?
Yeah. I'd say one of the things, as far as the paper goes, I'm going to kind of go along the same route where, again, I have a month to do this, so this is me just, using the podcast as a brainstorming session.
Go for it.
I would say that it's kind of, it's like, I don't know if there necessarily needs to be like, government laws brought down and stuff like that, severely restricting it. I feel like there should be some sort of physical digital on off switch, where it's like, if the thing starts going crazy and starts doing things that doesn't make any sense, or it starts to get out of control, there should be a kill button where we, like, if it starts getting to look like Terminator outside, just done. Like, you can cut that shit off pretty quick. But then again, like, because we take a lot of things like, science fiction taught us about AI before we actually knew what AI was. And it's just that general fear of it. At the very end of the day, the fear comes from worrying about not being the dominant species. That's really what that is. It's a fear of like, oh hey, this thing could like eat my family if it wanted to. Like,
That's where cosmic horror comes from. Is the idea, not just science fiction, but the idea that we are ants in a world that doesn't even notice we exist. And that's what I love about cosmic horror is the idea that you are insignificant in nothing to a higher plane, and the fact that you are just worthy enough to be on the shit level is enough. And the fear of AI kind of stems from that, and the fear of change, because of course that's always going to be a thing with progress. People just fear change.
not gonna lie though, it'd be pretty fucking cool to have a metal arm. Like I'm not gonna go and cut my arm off, but
Yeah.
if I was in like a like fucking knock on wood here, but like if I was in a really bad accident and I lost the use of my arm and I just had to get it amputated, I think a metal arm would be fun. Like that'd look really like, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like fucking like Full Metal Alchemist, like Edward Elric, like
Yeah.
fucking auto mail arm, but yeah, it'd probably just look metal.
I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about it in the past. Like, what if I could have metal arm? But you know what? As someone who does a lot of art stuff, and I'm still back in the days of pen and paper, because as much as I love doing things on the computer, I really like the feel of the paper and drawing on it. I wouldn't be able to do that with a metal arm, because like I would lose that sensory connection unless there was a way to imitate it.
Yeah, because isn't there like some stuff where they are coming up with ways to send signals to the brain to like have that feedback, or is that like just something I don't know, fell asleep weird and had a dream about it last night?
There, I don't think that people aren't working on it, because I feel like that's a problem, a future problem that people are trying to come up with solutions for now. Just like sex in space, which is a real thing. It's crazy, but the arm thing is mostly right now. It's cybernetics to, can your brain make your arm do normal things? Can we connect your nerve endings so that way when you send signals to the arm, it moves the way it's supposed to?
Yeah, because it's the way I understand it. Like a lot of people, it's like it's fully articulated for the most part, but you can like you think like it's just like when you think about grabbing a bottle and drinking out of it, it's that same like translation of thought. I don't know. I feel like if that did happen, that'd be a very weird experience to like have to air quotes your program your arm to move around and do things when you're trying to do things, because it's like that's like learning to walk again. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely nuts. And we learned that at like 3 years old. Oh yeah, that's easy. But like having to teach your new arm how to write your name, that's got to be a crazy journey.
It's the same as telling a child that, okay, cool, now you have to learn to walk, run, crawl, dance. I need you also to put your foot behind your head and be able to spell things with your toe in the sand all at the same time, because now you got years of catching up, because now you're an adult, you got things to do. And
So
things that your hand needs to be able to do. You don't have the 3 years of life where you just sit and do jack shit to learn.
the red lights lit up on here. It's never been lit up before.
Just ignore that. That doesn't actually
Okay.
determine much.
I'm just sitting here looking at his soundboard, and like I was just like, why is that light on? I'm confused.
Oh, the light that's by the switch?
Yeah.
I hope you're not turning the switch on and off.
No, it's just on. It's
Okay,
been on the
because
whole time.
that's phantom power.
Phantom powered. Are we channeling fucking ghosts in here?
Well, yours doesn't have to worry about the phantom power. It has its own thing. Mine needs phantom power, or else you're gonna hear like nothing like this. It's gonna be like this the entire time. I think that probably picked up. I hope it did.
Because I mean, it's just I don't know what the fuck are all these buttons? I don't know.
I don't know half of them either. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I was about to say like there's probably a guide somewhere, but yeah.
Well, I know what most of them do. All the important ones, I know what they do. But everything else is kind of like, oh, cool. I'm not touching that because I don't know what it does. I'm a professional.
Yeah, this is a all professional stream. We're not going to talk about how the last one I uploaded I rendered 3 times, didn't save the fucking file 3 times.
Welcome to my world. Actually, I have a thing where I have to constantly save everything on the off chance. Well, if I have to upload or if I have to do another edit, I need the original file and the cleaned file and the one where I edited this little bit in it and this file. I don't even know what the fuck it is, but I gotta keep it.
Well, every time I edit the podcast, it's a crapshoot. I think you'd hate my process. I'm just sitting there listening to it, chopping shit up, like moving it over and doing all this stuff. Like I don't know how to use Resolve. Don't. And I just kind of make it look like I do. Like I make sure the audio levels don't peak too much. Like it's a learning process, and I'm trying to add a little more with everyone. And
You do a little bit better every time. All that matters.
maybe I'll actually throw some pictures in there. Maybe I'll throw a picture of fucking Air Jordans right here.
Yo.
Maybe I'll get a picture of, like, I don't know, a fucking skeleton. Maybe
You're putting a lot on yourself right now.
I can do it. I believe in myself. Like, you can fucking do it. 3:30 Nate. I believe in you. Because that's when most of the editing happens. Is like 3:30 a.m. when I'm just up anyways. I'm like, okay, let's just get this done.
If I don't have a long period of time, I don't even bother editing. I'm like, oh, let's do it when I have more time. Which is why all my videos between stream and edit is like a month.
Yeah, that's... I'm trying to keep a regular schedule of doing it. It's just I got to figure out, like, because this is my second week, this is the first week where I actually have a lot of homework. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out when I do this homework. And then, because I'm putting the editing absolutely last, because school comes first no matter what.
This is more for fun, not a, we need to get this done every week. We have deadlines. I need pictures of Spider-Man.
Because, every single time this podcast happens, I talk about stocks. I bought Tesla stock today. Or yesterday. Yesterday was, as of recording, is September 1st. I bought it on September 1st. If anybody here knows anything about stocks, they know what happened on 9/2/2020. I lost $50 fucking today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wanted to just curl into a fucking hole and die today. I was just like, no, you're kidding.
Well, you win some, you lose a lot.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I looked at my, like, overall, and I'm up $3, but I'm still just like, ugh. I had to pick that up.
Sometimes there's bad investments, and then other times there's Tesla.
I don't remember why, like, they said it happened, but it happened. The number, I woke up, I didn't actually go to my German class today because I accidentally overslept because I don't sleep. And I woke up around 11:30, checked my phone, and I was like, wait, why the fuck am I missing $50? And I looked and I was like, no, you're joking. But the rest of the stocks went up. I managed to recover, I think, like around $15 to $20. So I'm okay, I guess.
I was going to say, like, were you going to let it ride until hopefully it comes up again and then sell it once you finally make a profit?
You see, Rich, that would have been the smart thing to do.
See, Rich, why didn't you tell me this 10 hours ago?
I'm going to send it to you on Discord so you can look at this real quick. I think you could tell where I woke up and I was like, oh, shit.
Ooh, that's nasty. That's a nasty downturn.
I was just like, I woke up and I was like, no, I'm not awake yet.
This is clearly a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why I get, like, whenever, like, I drink, I get drunk really early so I can just come down and be fine to drive. That's always how I do it.
When I used to drink, it was more or less like, I get a buzz, I'll ride the buzz, that's the end of the story, and then I got drunk once, and that was the last time.
Rich, you had something to say about your favorite company?
Oh, my favorite company, Apple, because Apple is so good at everything they do. Like, fucking over other companies, because why not? They can. So, even if you like Fortnite or not, I'm not a fan of Fortnite, but, like, I'll be straight up and be like, it's a good game, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. People who find something wrong with it are just jaded because, they can't let kids have their thing. But, no, Fortnite's fine. But they got kicked off the Apple Store because Epic wants to not pay Apple premium, prices just so they can run their app. And it's kind of ridiculous that Apple's doing this, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who follows any tech news of any like shape or form or gaming news, because this is not the first time nor the last time Apple will do it. And autoplay.
Yeah.
But basically, Apple. The basic story for anyone who doesn't know is Apple is charging 30% on any. Basically, a 30% markup on any in-app purchase. So some of it will go to, let's say in this case, the Epic Games Store, and the rest of it will, well, not Epic Games Store, but the Epic Games app, whatever it is. Let's say Fortnite, and then 30% of it goes to Apple. So because this is the competitive scene of this, people have to increase their prices to make up for the 30% loss, which, you know, it makes it cheaper to play Fortnite on everything else, making you're basically kicking. Apple is kicking people off their platform with exuberant prices. That's not to say Steam doesn't do the same thing, but that's a different problem for another day. Just because I like Steam doesn't mean I'm not afraid to call it my own team. But Apple, the way they're doing it is worse. And Epic fought back only to get shit stomped by Apple, basically saying, fine, we'll take our ball and go home. You can just get the fuck off our store. And it's not like they said, hey, you can leave. It was more like, bye, and then slam the door. So, like I said, I don't care if you're for or against Fortnite or for or against Apple. That's just gross. That's a thing that exists in the medium today.
I'm just glad that nobody can play fucking Fortnite on my phone. No, in all seriousness, like, it is pretty shitty. I have an Apple phone myself. He has an Android phone.
I have a Samsung 7.
Yeah, that's what it is. And S7.
S7. Edge.
Yeah, I used to have the S7, and I used to be team Android, but I've moved over to Apple just because I can't give you a good reason. I think I gave a reason in one of the last episodes, but I don't really need to emulate on my phone anymore because I have a DS that may or may not have hacks on it.
If you want a simple phone with a really good camera, go Apple, because that's all it is.
Yeah, and this thing's pretty simple, and it works pretty alright, so I'm fine with it.
I like my phones to be a little more complex, so that way if I want to break it, I can. And if I break it, someone can fix it and not tell me to go shoot myself.
It's like, I feel like the trade-off is like the initial pay price for them, because like some Apple phones are a little cheaper, and yeah, you could argue the outlier of Android phones where you can pick up an Android phone for about $20, but I'm just mainly focusing on flagships.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to get into the game with Apple. Like, upkeep is expensive if you're buying, you know, like, you have to fix your phone. I'm putting off fixing my phone, it's cracked. It's easier to get, like, you know, it's cheaper to get one of your phones fixed. My phone, estimation to get the back and front screen fixed is about $600. I might as well just buy a new fucking iPhone then.
Yeah, and I can't even be mad at Apple as much as I'm mad at the fanboys of Apple. Because they're the ones who are perpetuating this. They're letting them get away with it, and that's what hurts.
I appreciate the hustle, though, like, on Apple's part. Like, they have all of their stuff, like, proprietary, and I guess that makes them money, but it just makes people more enthusiastic to go out there and figure out how their stuff works. So
it's dumb because they're making everything proprietary. You would think would be like, oh, so everything works perfectly, right? No, they do backflips to make it like you have USB-C, so good. Know what? Let's just make it Thunderbolt and make it proprietary. It's the same fucking thing. You just did backflips to do something shitty with it, so it doesn't work with anything else.
I mean, I think there are rumors that the iPhone 12 or whatever the fuck they want to call it, I think there are rumors that that's going to be USB-C, but I'm not sure. I fucking doubt it, but we'll see. It could be a thing.
It's just, I hate proprietary systems. Like, some things, if they have to be proprietary, fine. But, like, Dell does that kind of bullshit, and I hate it.
The thing I like what Apple does is, I'll go into one thing I like and one thing I dislike. If you buy an Apple product and you buy another Apple product, the thing work, like, it's pretty much seamless. Like, when I first got these AirPods here, I pretty much just flipped the lid up, looked down on my phone, and there was like a little alert, like, hey, do you want to connect these? These are brand new. And I was like, yeah, and I can take these out. I'm going to demonstrate for the camera that is not here.
Well, the cameras that are here but not filming.
I could take these out, pull it out, connected.
Yep.
That was a very bad example. Usually it's a little quicker than that, but it might just be because of all the stuff going on in the room. I don't know.
I have nothing Apple in this room. Do not fucking put that shit on me. Oh, right, you have your Apple stuff. Never mind. All this technology in the room is interfering with my Apple products. I don't own anything Apple.
No, because like there might be a signal that like you know, I'm talking on like not like a software level, it just like literally just waves. Like I don't know, like some things interfere with Bluetooth, so that might have been what was happening.
That's fair. Okay, one good thing about Apple, one bad thing about Apple.
Oh, the bad thing. I understand that you want to seem like you're the innovative group. You're so, you know, in tune with what the consumer knows they want, but they don't want it yet. The jumping the gun of the removing the headphone jack. Like I wasn't an Apple fan at the time, but I was watching it and I was like, you guys are fucking stupid. And like now that Bluetooth headphones are becoming more and more of a thing, it's more of a non-issue. But if they went to go remove the charging port on it, I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, no, because you'd have to buy all new accessories. I mean, you remember how people complained when they removed the 14-pin connector for the lightning cable?
To be fair, that was fine. Like, if you have to change... First off, I'll give Apple this. This is not my good or bad for Apple. I'll give Apple this. Going to the lightning adapter was the best move because it universally set all Apple products to the same thing. Unlike before, where everyone had a different 16-pin bullshit. But then again, every phone was doing that, and I hated it. Now everything's on USB, and I'm like, cool, perfect. I love it.
I remember my mom bought a charger for her phone, and I think this was like 2003, 2004, so she had like a Nokia. Like, and
the brick.
Yeah, the brick. And she bought a charger for it. We walked out of Radio Shack with I swear it had like 64 goddamn ends on it. Like, you know, where you could just mix and match. And I'm just like, how can phones use? Like, and it's literally like, I remember like model numbers were like one number off in like one of the digit places. And like, you know, the charger was completely different. And I'm like, that seems unnecessary. And I was like 7 or 8, so.
All right, so one good thing about Apple. Oh, this is tough. I mean, there's good things, but I'm looking for something substantial. I don't want to snake my way out of this. I want to actually say something good about Apple in general. That's not just the iPods. I want to at least talk about the dock. Is probably the most genius part of Apple. It works perfectly. It's fun to mess with. Having programs run off of it, like not off of it, but on it, where you can preview your thing. It was so good. Windows copied it, and they didn't copy it. They didn't make it better. They just copied it and made it very Windowsy. But I love it. I absolutely love the dock that they have for it. Like I'm talking about OS X. The
thing on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
that took me a little bit to figure out what you were talking about. I was like, dock.
Because I'm like, you know what? People are gonna think charging dock because people.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the basically the Mac's version of the start menu. I love it. I think it's brilliant. It was the best when I first used the Mac for the first time. When I was that wide-eyed young 18-year-old who was like, oh my god, I heard so many good things about Mac, and now I get to have one, and oh, that's so cool. That's the start menu, and things move around. You can easily adjust everything. That's so cool.
Time to boot up Doom on it. Oh.
I could run Doom on it.
Oh, just being stupid because Macs couldn't play games.
Oh yeah, Macs can play select games. And you know how I got to run most of my games? I got a fucking DOS emulator.
That'll do it.
I'm not even lying. Like, I want to play Roller Coaster Tycoon. The first one can run on DOS. So I got a DOS emulator to run the first Roller Coaster Tycoon so I can play a goddamn game on it that wasn't Civilization. Which, to be fair, Civ was awesome.
Oh, your one fact about Apple that you like, and then it was the dock, right?
That was the dock. So the one I hate that out of all the things I can pick, the one I hate probably the most is they use inferior. I can't say inferior because that's not true, but they use mid-range like parts and pass it off as high end. And it pisses me the fuck off. In 2009, I'm going to call them out in 2009, because that was when I got the MacBook Pro, my first and only MacBook Pro. Ran it for about 2-3 months before the hard drive was dying. So I replaced the hard drive, because this is before Mac decided they wanted to be buttholes and stop people from being able to fix their own shit. I went in and replaced the hard drive, opened it up to realize this is an Intel-based board. This is an Intel processor. In 2009, this would have been a mid-tier computer. Why did I pay $2,400 for it? It was awful. And that's why I hate Apple. That was the not the beginnings, but the time where I finally just put my foot down and said, this sucks. This blows. I've told my story about my trip to the Apple store on here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I most likely have. If this episode comes out and I haven't yet, I'll do it in another episode. But my trip to the Apple store was fan-fucking-tastic.
All right, so I'm gonna go through their. We're on the Apple Store, boys. We're gonna buy an iMac Pro. We're not really gonna buy it, but we're gonna go through and pick the highest options available for this PC. We're going to see how much it costs.
All right. Hit me.
So we're going to go with the 28-core Intel Xenon W. It
of course,
is
Intel.
2.5 gigahertz, has 28 cores, 56 threads, can turbo boost up to 4.4 gigahertz, 66.5 megabyte cache, supports 29, supports 2,933 megahertz memory. So that's the core the processor we're going to be picking.
All right, fine.
Now the memory, it gives us up to 1.5 terabytes of RAM. So
wait, what?
You heard me. It's configure up to 1.5 terabytes of DDR4 ECC memory and 12 user accessible DIMM slots.
What fucking computer are we building here?
It's the iMac Pro, like the little stand one, or we're just doing this for funsies because we're going to see how
No,
much
I get
it
that,
costs.
but like, Jesus Christ.
I have to render a fucking skyscraper. I need this for my job.
I need to render a skyscraper. Okay, cool. So almost any computer can do that. How fast do you want it? 2 seconds.
Okay, so the 1.5 requires a 24 or 28 core processor, which we are getting. So
Fair enough.
The graphics configure 2 MPX modules with up to 4 GPUs. So
wait, is it not like a name brand graphics?
it's AMD.
Whoa. Okay, we're going to slow down here before we move any further. Why would... Okay, I know some people that will come attack me in the comments like, you can mix AMD with Intel. You don't get that much with AMD if you mix it with Intel. AMD sticks with AMD. Intel, yeah, you can throw any shit with Intel and it'll work, and that's not even a bad thing. That's actually fantastic. But what? No! Continue.
We are going to be getting the AMD Radeon Pro Vega 2 Duo, which has...
I can't complain about that. I love Radeon.
64 gigabytes of HBM2 memory with 1 terabytes per second memory bandwidth up to 28.3 teraflops single precision or teraflops, or 56.6 teraflops half precision. I can't fucking talk. Onboard Infinity Fabric Link connection connects the 2 Vega GPUs up to 84 gigabytes per second, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and 1 HDMI 2.0 port on the card. 4 DisplayPort connections routed to system to support internal Thunderbolt 3 ports. Support for up to 8 4K displays for 5K or 4 Pro Display XDRs, which I'm assuming that's Apple's thing.
You got that, nerds?
Yeah, and you got to get that with the $1,000 monitor stand too. Yeah, that seems like it doesn't matter. Okay, so just your power supply, your expansion
Whoa, I want to
slots.
know. I want to know what are we getting in that power supply? What's our wattage?
It is at 1,280 watts at 108 to 125 volts, or 240 or 220 to 240, basically English and American Standard.
That way you can run it at full power and plug in all your fucking toasters.
Or 1180 watts at 100 to 107 volts. Expansion slots. Wow, fuck me.
8. Like I said, all the toasters.
Expansion slots. 8 PCI Express expansion slots.
Gonna make some fucking toast.
There's a lot of stuff here. Do you want me to read all of it?
No, we pretty much got the big grasp of it. The parts are what matter. The little details aren't the biggest deal.
Yeah, and 8
I mean, if you're a super nerd, they do matter, but it doesn't matter.
Apple Afterburner storage for up to 8 terabytes of SSD, which is pretty cool. I'd give them that. All right, we're gonna go to buy, and you want to talk while I do this real quick?
All right, so as he's buying, basically what we're building is something that even people... Okay, so when you want to get something with a lot of cores, that means that you're running sometimes a lot of different people running off the same computer. I know some people do that for when they're doing render farms. This is pretty much what we're building, is a fucking render farm in a box. You could also use it if you have a bunch of people running off of a single server. You can use that for that. This computer would not be viable for anyone unless they wanted to show off how much money they had. And you just do that by just sticking a Apple sticker on it, I guess. So what's the damage?
I'm adding all the extra accessories if I wanted stainless steel frame with wheels. To add the wheels, guess how much?
Like 400.
You looked at my screen.
I can't see! It's so far away!
Alright, we're going to add the Magic Mouse too with the Magic Trackpad.
Using the term magic does not make your product immediately better.
That's $150. Do you want all the suite of Apple software too, just for fun?
Yeah, I mean, we're already this far.
Alright, $300 for Final Cut Pro.
I mean, Final Cut is actually pretty nice.
$200 for Logic Pro X. And we have our grand total.
Yo, do they have Soundtrack Pro? Fucking get that shit.
I didn't see it on there.
That's fine.
So to get this this PC today, we could either pay. It's such a ridiculous number. I can't help but laugh at it. We could either pay $4,537 a month and 33 cents, or we could pay $54,447.98 fucking cents.
For an Intel-based processor with AMD graphics on a... And the thing is that I wish I could use my computer and do a comparison for stuff. I can't, unfortunately. But, man, if I could, I'd be like, I could probably build something for at least... Okay, so this is my guesstimation, and I know someone, either an Apple fanboy or even someone who is a techie who probably would be able to shop better than I could, would probably say, oh, well, that's average. I don't think so. I think you can build the same thing at half the cost by, 1, building it yourself, and 2, not slapping an Apple logo on it.
Should I ask a Mac specialist about this? Should I chat with them? Be like, hey, I'm fucking broke. How am I supposed to render my skyscraper? No, I'm not gonna do that because that would be wrong, and I'm not encouraging anybody on here to do that. That's bad.
That's a project for another day. But yeah, no. First off, if I wanted to go for it, I would start with an AMD Ryzen Threadripper, which already costs way more than it should, but that's another conversation for another time.
It does look pretty nice on the inside, though. I will give it that.
Oh yeah,
it looks clean, just like all of Apple's.
But that's the thing is, Apple does have a nice design in way it looks, but can I replace the thing I hate the most about Apple?
Yeah.
Fucking aluminum shells. Because that's gonna be our heatsink. What the fuck are you thinking? Put a goddamn heatsink in your goddamn computer. Why are my legs burning? Because the case is the heatsink. Isn't that brilliant? It's dumb as shit. You're dumb as shit.
Well, you gotta think about people who live in New York and paid for that fucking that computer. They don't have the money for heat anymore, so they gotta have a heater.
I have a real story about that. My house's heater broke, and during college when I came back home, I mean it wasn't as cold as it was in Alfred, but when I came back home for Christmas, I came back to a frozen house. My sister, she moved out and she took her heater with her. So I didn't have a heater at all. So what I would do, and I'm going to say right now, do not fucking do what I did. This is a fucking fire hazard. The fact that I've survived is a miracle. I took my MacBook, put it on the charger, and stuffed it under my bed. And I heated myself with the MacBook for the winter. Because it overheats.
I was supposed to say, that's you gotta play a fucking fine dance with that to make sure it doesn't overheat, but if it overheats, it's fine. I could probably use this thing as a space heater, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing, is most laptops, they'll have big fans, or they'll have major, heat vents or heat sinks. Apple decided, we have a little plastic bit that goes from one end to the other. I don't want to get a screwdriver because I was going to bring my old MacBook Pro in here and open up and show you. But it has 2 fans. 2 fans!
Mine has 2 fans, too.
Well, it sounds it. But it has 2 fans and a little plastic thing that gets the heat going from one section to the fans. Not even at the processor. So if the processor overheats, it goes right into the case. Because it's aluminum. And it'll transfer heat right into your legs. Because that's brilliant design by Apple.
This thing, I could honestly use this as when I'm downstairs at my house, it's very cold down there because they keep the AC down really low. So my fingers and toes will get cold. I could probably stick my feet or my toes back there and just turn the fans on full blast and kind of do the flexing thing and get my hands warm again.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when my heater used to work in my house, and it was nice, and then it stopped. Now in the house I'm in now, we got it good. So now we rarely ever need to use a heater because we're in the South and it's hot as balls year round. But my air conditioning works, which is better than at my old house where I had an air conditioner that was freezing itself but not the room.
I wouldn't say it gets as cold as... I'd say it's at least 15 degrees warmer than it is up north, at the very least. But it feels... It's a different kind of cold.
It is a different kind of cold, because it's a wet cold up north, and it makes it worse. But here, it's a dry cold.
Well, that's tolerable. You just kind of... That, and because where I was, when that wind would come off of Lake Erie?
Yep, Lake Erie.
Oh, I remember one time I was walking to... work. I worked at McDonald's at the time. I lived 2 miles away, and it was negative 20 degrees outside that day. I think you probably remember that winter. I think it was the winter of 2016 or 17.
Oh, okay. Couldn't be 17. I was in college in 2016 when it dropped to negative 30 with wind chill, and
It was probably
the
that.
school basically said, "Should we cancel class? We'll let the professors decide." And all my professors "Here, I'm emailing you your assignment. Don't fucking walk outside. It's Hoth out there."
And I remember I had the what is it called? The mask where it only shows your eyes,
The ski mask.
Yeah, ski mask. I was thinking balaclava for some reason, but I'm stupid. I had that on. I had gloves on, and I had a whole bunch of other crap on, and I remember I wanted a cigarette. I was walking. I don't smoke anymore, but I used to. I was walking, and I lit the cigarette, brought it up to my lips, exhaled, and I just flicked a whole ass cigarette onto the ground. Mind you, $10 in New York State. And I just put the mask back on because it was too cold to have that part of my face exposed. And I'd say 3/4 of the way to work, one of my coworkers saw me walking, and they're like, "Dude, do you need a fucking ride?" And I was like, "I'd love a ride. I can't feel my anything."
I remember walking to class one time after one of the major snowstorms. It was freezing, And as I walked into the building, I felt like I got slapped in the face with the heat. I go up to my class, and this is my freshman year, so I wasn't really prepared for the cold into the heat. I go into class, don't even think about it, get my painting stuff because it was that kind of art class, and red drips onto my arm. I realize I have a nosebleed.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Whenever I haven't had a nosebleed in a long time since I got here, and up north, at least like 3 or 4 times during the winter, I'd have a nosebleed because it's like it's just the dry air. Like
Yeah.
I know we just said that it's a wet winter up there, but it still doesn't stop the air from being dry. Um, but yeah, I'm as weird as it is. I miss the humidity here. I miss the you know it was what like 92 today,
Hmm.
and it's September.
I have a video for you. I might also throw it into the Discord chat for people who are part of our Discord. They can see it. Um, I have a video of me and my friends in college fighting with foam swords in the snow.
I saw that. You guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane. But we did it, and we did it shirtless because that's the kind of cold it was. Where it was like, you don't feel it until you get inside. Don't do that, kids. It hurts. I was the first to fall into the snow without a shirt on my back. It is bad.
And you see, that's part of the reason why I moved back too, is because like it drops below 65 and I start shaking and lose all of my body heat. So
Nah, that's the thing. Is like I think the lowest it's gotten here for me was 25 degrees in the dead of night. Is the coldest it's ever gotten here in the dead of winter. But most of winter, it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 40. Everyone's gonna be freezing. I'm walking to work in a short sleeve shirt, and everyone's like, aren't you freezing? I'm like,
I
no.
came from the ice.
I came from the land of the ice and snow.
Yeah, I don't miss it at all. Like I love that. Like in November, it's still 60 something.
I had a friend who, and it's not that much of a difference going from Long Island to Alfred because for anyone who knows anything about New York, Long Island's in the east, and Alfred is as far west. Well, not as far west as you can go, but it's Western New York. So my friend who lived in Western New York all his life goes to live with his girlfriend on Long Island. We share the bus on our way back to college, and he goes like, "Dude, you don't wear coats down here until like December." And I'm like, not even. Usually it gets cold in January. And they're like, I can't believe that. Like, I would have, as soon as October rolls around, if you're not in a coat, you get frostbite.
And like what down here around like April, March, it starts getting warm again.
Yeah, but it also doesn't really get cold until February.
Yeah, I get really bad seasonal depression. Like, and it was even worse up there, but I just get like like I just kind of lock myself away and just kind of hide because I don't know like I just it's bad. And when it comes like that's why I like it down here because it's not like oh yeah it starts getting cold like mid August and then around mid June it's finally warm enough to go outside again. Like I don't miss it.
No, I don't miss it at all. I don't miss anything that has to deal with snow or cold. See, I like the cold, but I don't like freezing. I do not like heat in any way, shape, or form because at the end of the day, the colder it gets, the more layers you put on. The hotter it gets, eventually you just die.
I think it's easier for me to get cold than it is to get warm, so it works for me. Like
My problem is like my family sometimes complains that I keep the AC on for too long, and I'm like, I have machines that will die if I turn off the AC. Not this one. This one's actually in a pretty big room, but in my room, my PC that's probably sounds like a motor running because it's dying. That will heat up my room all day, every day. It's bad. It's bad. It's very bad.
and when I go in places like if I go into stores and stuff and I'm wearing like the slides I wore today, my feet will get cold and I want to go back outside. Like, and it's the weirdest thing in the world, but like I'll just like be like, oh god, my feet like are freezing cold. Like I need to go back outside. And honestly, there have been a few times where I was at home, like just sitting there because I sit right under an air vent. So like I'm getting that like 60-degree air blasted on me. Hands are going numb and like, my feet are cold. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go, walk outside when it's like 72 degrees and 80% humidity. So it feels like it's 90 still just because I need to just feel again.
Yeah. Well, I think it's been a time. I think we've reached longer than an hour, depending on if Future Nate edits this down that much.
Yeah, like honestly, I was looking at my thing. I was like, "Holy shit, it's 8 o'clock already."
Yep.
Do you know how to get there from here? Like OBS, you were talking about?
Oh yeah, I just gotta click around until the screen goes away.
All right. Well, it was fun. I feel like this one went by really quick. Hopefully, it went like pretty quick for you guys too. Like, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a good day and all that shit.
Yeah, I hope the same thing. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to OBS because my computer decided that the thing I was going to render later needed to be done now, and I'm like, no, not yet, I'm not ready.
All right. See you later.
Let's.